Hello, you guys, and welcome to the first video in for the Crafty Pajama Party. And so, basically, as I mentioned in the welcoming comments, I really wanted to do some things that I've been wanting to do for a really, really long time, and I just don't make the time to do it, which is swapping out my stamps. So, I have this cute little tray. I think I picked it up from I think it was Target Dollar Spot, actually, to be honest with you. And so I like to kind of like do a swap. I love stamps and I've been collecting them for 20 plus years. And so I like to kind of swap them out. So that way I have my ones that I can use right at my fingertips, so to speak. So I'm removed a bunch of the spring and summer ones, and now I'm going to put in my fall and summer, or some that I use quite frequently, like for example the little unicorn there in the bottom right. I use that quite a bit. But then I also have all these fun Halloween stamps and fall stamps that I want to make sure that I kind of have available, and I'm not digging around, or more more and less that I forget about them. And so then I'm like, oh, Halloween's over or fall's over, and I didn't get to use any of my cute stamps. So yeah, so I just kind of wanted to switch those out and have those available. And then what I've wanted to do for a while, which is using the heat gun, I have a lot of embossing powders. And again, these are things that I've had for quite a while. I've collected them, and with the embossing powder, what's nice is that you you can reuse it. I mean, when you pour it on, you pour it out the excess back into the jar, and unless you are embossing all the time, it lasts quite a bit. So, what I wanted to do first before I created sheets of stamps, which is what this craft is about, I wanted to see how um, I'm stamping on sticker paper, how that would be, if it would work on the sticker paper. I didn't know if I used my heat gun on my sticker paper, if then it would create that adhesive that makes the actual paper stick, dry up or melt or anything like that. So that's kind of what I'm doing now. Is just kind of doing a trial here to see um, if that would work. So I'm gonna have to let that cool before I touch it, because that heat gun gets really, really hot, and so does the embossing powder, of course, because it melts the powder. So in the meantime, I decided, I was like, well, let me go ahead and make some on regular paper. And this is a stamp by Mindy Lacefield, which I absolutely love. It's a cute little unicorn. And this sparkle emboss, this is like one of my favorite embossing powders. This is actually from Recollections, which is a Michaels brand. And it literally keeps that sparkle in there once you emboss it. So I really, really um, love uh, that look of that sparkle that's left behind. So yeah, so it definitely worked. Ooh, how pretty! And so I'm gonna go ahead and try to see if these cameras here are able to be peeled off too, because that would be awesome to be able to have um, a sheet of camera stickers, because I would like to document in my journals, when I do film videos and those kind of things. Oh, seeing it works, I'm so excited. Um, and so, yeah, so I'm just kind of randomly putting it into a journal that I have sitting on my desk, which is Mindy Lacefield's class that's coming up. But so yeah, so I just wanted to what the whole concept of this project is. I wanted to create a sticker sheet that I could have lots of images that I could be using um, throughout while I'm journaling. So that way I'm not reaching constantly for my stamps, looking for my stamp ink pads, or having space to, because a lot of times I like to create while I'm watching television in the evenings, and I don't have to worry about running over, get my stamp pad, my stamps, my embossing, heat gun, all the things. And that way I already have those created on a sticker sheet. And so all I am is reaching for my sticker sheet and cutting out those, um, fussy cutting those stickers. So, and then adding them to my pages. So that's kind of what my process is behind. Is just basically creating some stamps using embossing that I can use in my journal throughout the season and not having to worry about, having time. Now, one of the things I did use was this distress powder from Tim Holtz. And one of the things that I absolutely love about embossing is the transformation that you see. If you've never embossed before, it's basically like taking heat and it like melts this powder onto the stamp and you actually visually see it, and it's really pretty cool actually. But I noticed that with this Tim Holtz, it is a distress. It isn't like a sparkle. It is, excuse me, you guys. Pardon me, I'm so sorry. But it basically is, it doesn't show. So I really wasn't sure if it was working or not. You can see I kind of spent some time on these and I'm like, well, it's definitely heating up, but I don't see that bubbly melting transformation. And a lot of times it becomes like a gloss feel to the stamp. And so I really was kind of going, well, is it working? And I went ahead and moved the camera up a little closer so you guys could kind of see the transformation. But to be honest, I did not see that. It worked. It's just that with these distress stamps, you don't actually see that change happen. And a lot of times, like with the colors, it actually almost kind of change the coloring too, which these do not change. So yeah, so I'm not able to really see if it's working, but it does end up working in the videos. So that was one of the things that I was a little concerned about. Is then later on you'll see, and I'll go ahead and talk about it since I'm kind of off camera here. Oh, there I go. I move it back. I just really wanted to get you guys to be able to see it transform, but again, I mentioned earlier, and it just didn't happen. So, um, now keep in mind that when you are doing this, you saw me use an end of a paintbrush, and that is because, like I said, this thing gets hot, and if you get your fingers near the heat gun, it's not it is not pleasant. So that is one of the reasons I kind of use that. And actually, I saw a video not too long ago that she mentioned, Never Hopeless with Elizabeth mentioned using a chopstick, which that would definitely work too. So yeah, so I'm basically adding some more stamps. I'm going to be doing some black. Now this zine I have had forever. And literally, when I first started embossing, I bought a lot of this brand because I think they carry it at Hobby Lobby, and it's like I said, it's been with me forever. So um, it doesn't take a whole lot. Now this one you definitely can see it. See how it's getting darker as the oh yeah. I'm going to show you guys real quick. See how it so oh, isn't that amazing? I just love watching. It's the little things in life that makes it so neat. And so yeah, so you definitely see the transformation here in with this particular brand embossing powder. I think umbrellas would be also a great several stamps to have because you can always like just cut one out and stick it in there when it's raining. And um, so yeah, so I'm just gonna see here if this worked as well. It's such a those I love that little jack-o'-lantern pumpkin. It's so cute. And there's a little bit close up of my journal that I have for Mindy Lacefield's class actually starting on Wednesday. So it's Mary and Fright. So I've kind of had my journal put together and I was just adding that. So off camera, I played around with this foam stamp to see if it would work with embossing, and it does. There's telephone with a crown. Those are Mindy Lacefield's foam stamps as well. All right, you guys, see you in the next video.